Hi everyone, my name's Lawrence and this is the full story of what happened to me when I bought a motorcycle through Superbike Factory and it ended up blowing up outside my home. Within the first 30 days of ownership, I reported a coolant leak. When the SOS Recovery driver came to collect the bike, he noticed it also had an oil leak. Superbike Factory took it back, said they repaired it, and then sent it back to me. But just a few weeks later, the engine choked on me on my way home one day, and the engine failed basically. At that point, you know, I just was a little bit peed off, so I refused to keep the bike. I told them I was rejecting it due to repeated faults and whatnot. I wasn't willing to deal with breakdowns on a bike I'd just financed, you know. Plus I needed the bike to get to and from work. I'm a HGV driver, so, you know. Anyway, get back to the story. That's when Superbike Factory changed their tune. Suddenly, they were doing an inspection and claimed that the bike had been in an accident. Yeah, I told them clearly it had only ever been blown over outside my house, and that was on one occasion. The bike had no cosmetic damage thanks to the protectors fitted all round. Yeah, okay, so it had bar end protectors, front and rear fork protectors, you know, on the wheels, and engine side protectors as well. So even when the bike got blown over, there was no cosmetic scratches, not even a scratch on the bodywork. So how could any engine failure be, you know, related to the bike blowing over? It's nonsense, absolute nonsense. Anyway, weeks of back and forth, you know, disagreeing with them and what have you not, and, you know, getting a bit of few heated phone calls from my end. Then out of nowhere, SOS called me up one day and they said that they were redelivering my bike. I had asked for the confirmation from Superbike Factory that the bike had been repaired, because I'd already said I wasn't accepting it back unless it was properly fixed at that point, because they wasn't accepting the liability. I couldn't get hold of Superbike Factory to confirm whether or not the bike had been repaired and whether or not the SOS, what the SOS people were telling me were right, you know, so I couldn't confirm it. And I was basically ignored by Superbike Factory. Then I found out that they had been advised, SOS, to tell me the bike had been repaired, okay, when it hadn't. Either that or SOS acted on their own without knowing the bike was, or without knowing the full truth of the situation of the bike. Either way, they delivered the bike back again, and that time it blew up right outside my house. Okay, actually what had happened was when the driver took the bike off the van, you know, it wasn't starting, and there was telltale signs that the bike hadn't been cleaned or anything. Okay, so plus the mirror was hanging off on the bar on the end. I got the bar end mirrors and it was completely loose and just hanging down. So, you know, either that happened in transportation, I don't know, but that wasn't how it was when the bike got sent back, you know. I mean, I don't know exactly what had happened there, but the bike hadn't been touched no matter what. So I pointed it out to the driver. I said to him, the bike is not starting, you know. So he's gone then and got leads and come back and started the bike. He's managed to get it started, you know, and then he's held the revolutions down for about 10 revolutions. Not for long, maybe about 15, 20, 30 seconds the most. And this almighty bang, and the engine just choked up again straight away. So, you know, I mean, at that point, as far as I was concerned, I'm not liable now, okay? No matter what you're bickering about before and trying to get out of it, as far as I'm concerned now, I am not liable, because whatever happened there, I didn't do it, for one, okay? Yeah, and two, the next part of this story will shock you even more. They took the bike away, okay? After that, I asked SOS for a written report of what happened that day, basically all the events that happened that day when the driver came to my house, yeah, okay? I was fobbed off for weeks. Eventually, I spoke to a manager who told me, off the record, okay, that Superbike Factory had advised them not to give me anything in writing. You know, now I ended up arguing with the guy, you know, preaching to him that that's fraudulent behaviour, for one, okay? And he tried to undermine me. He was speaking over me the whole time. You know, he had no great customer service skills whatsoever. You know, I don't really know how those three firms work, but I know one thing, that they sort of cover each other's backs in that sense, you know. So anyway, moving on, the bike was then dumped somewhere, wherever Superbike Factory keep their bikes, okay? And it was just broken, left sitting there, you know, who knows where. I was told I could either collect the bike from where it was in Macclesfield, okay, and bear in mind I live in London, so, you know, or pay the same SOS people £250 for them to re-deliver the bike again. So, you know, for me, you know, I wasn't about to pay an extra £250. Plus, I didn't have a trailer. I didn't have anything that anyone without paying to go up there and collect the bike, you know. And I was out of work at this point by a good few weeks by then, you know, because, like I say, I've relied on my bike to get up and down to work. So, you know, but yeah, to pay £250 to have the same recovery company bring the bike back, you know, I didn't want that. And it was in a worse condition than it was when I bought it. So, you know, this is what I'm exposing with Blogger Man's Biking News, okay? I've submitted SARs, I've contacted lawyers, I've tried every official route, and I've been ignored or bounced around while these companies protect each other. So I'm telling my story here, unfiltered, uncensored, and without anyone deleting my comments, okay? Yeah, if something like this has happened to you, right, okay, I want you to get in touch with me, right? Drop me a comment or an email, you know, email me, get at me, subscribe if you want to support the truth, because, you know, this is our voice, guys, and this is our way to fight back. So, you know, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and have a great day, and safe riding.